All right, so let's talk about the dad life diaries here. Let's talk about dad play dates. Now, I'm very curious on what this topic is to you.
Now, I had my first dad play date. Really,
So is this when you're taking the kids to be with another dad,
well,
or
actually Sundays? Anna works here at Swing Away.
Okay.
So I'm at home with the kids, and normally I'm just hanging on, trying to survive, get as much done around the house.
yeah,
as
I understand
can.
that completely.
But Teddy has a new friend at school named Freddie, oddly enough. And so I thought, well, it'd be nice if Freddie's dad come over. So I invited her. I didn't know if they would, could, should.
Yeah.
But they did. And then I tell you what, it revolutionized the way you care for your children, because him and Freddie are running around, and Patrick, his name, was watching them, and I'm able to bounce back to the other two and spend a little bit more time with them and get them, on a better trajectory for their day, and then, bounce back and forth, have some dad interaction with Patrick rather than being
just there with the kids.
All day long.
I totally get that.
I never understood why my wife would want to talk to me when I got home at night, and now I do.
Well, I mean, yeah, because they're sitting there all day dealing with, little kids and just trying to keep everything organized. And God, I can't imagine the mommies. It just hits way different than dad. And maybe it's just me, but my kids, it's so funny, man. My kids will literally be sitting next to me and will get up and go in 2 rooms over to get mom to cut something on or touch something. But I'm like, I'm right here. Like, why don't you ask me? And she's the same. I can hear her in the back. You were right next to your father. Why didn't you get him to do it? And they come back with a little sly smile. Hey, Dad. And I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. Like, I don't understand. I mean, part of me is like, did I train him that way? Did I give him a look that made him think that I couldn't do it or I wouldn't do it? Or maybe moms are just that great.
Hey, I don't know what it is, but my kid will just now let me dress him. He was like,
oh God, getting kids dressed.
4 years old, and he would always, Mommy, will you get me dressed? What about me? No.
Yeah, getting kids dressed is a whole thing, man. I mean, every morning I try to get the twins dressed. They're 3, and I mean we'll start with an outfit picked out, and I don't want to wear that. Which is the funny part is I've been doing it long enough to know 30 minutes later we're going to end up on the same outfit we started on, and they're going to be totally fine with it. So it's this whole game of giving them options, right? Here's another one. Here's this. No, I don't want to wear that.
But what about shorts on cold days? You're all going through that. We're going through that right now.
Yeah, a little bit. But what I do is I just open the door. I say, go outside. It's cold, Daddy. I know it is. Now let's put on some clothes. Shoes are a big thing, man. They have too many shoes options, and they don't want to wear the shoes. Or they pick out the shoes they want to wear, and then they get them on, and they don't like the shoes. Or they're too big, or they're too small. Or we need to try a different one here and there. It's just the joys of being a parent, right?
Part of it, brother. That's the way it goes.
And then, this morning I'm looking at laundry, and I'm like, you guys put that shirt on for like an hour last night. Why is it in dirty clothes area? You didn't do anything. You watched Bluey. Put the thing back in the daggone shelf. Like, we can wear it. We could actually wear that to school today. Nobody saw you. Nobody cares what you're wearing into that, but boy, those girls, they are not having that at all.
Teddy won't let me reuse the towel. Like, he gets out of the bathtub, lays on the little mat. I throw a towel on top of him. He stays there and like a cocoon for about 30 seconds. Then he pops up, says, "Okay, I'm good," and leaves the towel there. I hang the towel up, and with the expectation of using the towel next time.
Obviously, yeah.
No, Daddy, that's the towel I had last night. It's no, Daddy, that's no.
I saw something the other day. It was like, it was a woman asking guys, like, how to use the towel, and it's like, well, you dry your hair, and you work your way down, right? And then the funny part is you get all the good private parts and all that dry, and then you hang the towel up, and then the towel has amnesia. It has no clue where it was touching yesterday. Today, it's still a clean towel for me to start from the head down and all over again. I mean, if you're a guy, you get it, right? I think that's a poll question. How many days is a towel good for?
Yeah, I can see that.
Because it doesn't need to be washed.
Should we tell our answer before the poll?
Well, I mean, my thought is like, if I'm already clean and I'm getting out, I'm just toweling off. Like, really, how dirty can that? No. I mean, at least 2 days, maybe 3 tops, right?
I'll say 3 showers.
I mean, what you can't have is a crunchy towel, right? You can't have a towel that you stand and stands by itself, right? No. And if it gets too wet for too long, it gets that mildewy smell.
The smell was
God, that's one of my pet peeves. Like I do the laundry in the house for the most part. My wife definitely does a lot of other things too. She does laundry too, but I'll put a load in the wash and then go to sleep. And then maybe I forget about it and then get home that night and it has that little sour smell. My wife will just throw it in the dryer and it's good to go. Like, and to her dismay, she hates it, but I have to rewash it because I'm smelling that all day long, And if I'm wearing an undershirt, it just gets me in my crawl and I just can't do it, So it's one of those things. But towels, I mean, as long as you hang them up, don't let them bunch up, let them dry. I think you can get it. I mean, 2 days for sure. 3 days if you're lucky.
I'll go third. I'm not scared to go third.
What's and I don't know if you have the answer to this, and I don't know if I have the answer to this. Maybe the audience does. What's the thing with the top of the towel, the little line change? You know what I'm talking about? Like a towel, and then there's like a little border.
Yeah.
What does that do?
I always thought that was just decoration.
Is it just decorations? I mean, maybe it is. I don't know. I'm just asking the question about that.
We don't know. Wouldn't surprise me if there wasn't.
I mean, every towel has it, right? So, like, is there a point to it? Or did the towel companies all get together and just say, let's just screw with Brandon and Charlie's brain on this and see what's going on there?
Brandon's Charlie's brain.
I like to drop those little bombs on you, give you something to think about all day long.
See, I can't just think about it, though. I'll have to go in and try to figure it out. Thinking about it doesn't work for me.
So, talking about the kids, what's your the kid quote of the week?
All right, kid quote of the week is a new one. But with Teddy, he's getting into music now, and he's been asking me to play a song about a derailed train. And
really?
It comes off of country music, so it has to be a country song. But
country songs, man, can talk about anything. They really can. I mean, it's I didn't grow up listening to country music. People love country music. I am not trying to be offensive. My grandfather wrote music in Nashville. My father did. Everybody in my family is pretty musically inclined, except me. But I had the good looks and the athleticism, so I took away from that.
There you go.
But I feel like you can daggum say anything in a country song, and if the melody's right and the tone's right, you can get away with it.
Yeah. Well, what was the joke when we were younger? What happens if you play a country music song backward? You get your dog back, your truck back, and your girl back.
I hadn't heard that one. That's actually pretty good. So we got, coming up, I want to talk about pre-shot routines and how long does it take. But first, I want to bring in our first guest to the show, Mr. Bill Adams. He is an amazing guy. I met Bill, 10 years ago maybe. He was a swing coach at Golf Tech and just a heck of a guy. And I think this is a topic that we need to get Bill's input.
Oh, I like that.
So if we can give us just a second and bear with us, we're going to bring Bill in and get him mic'd up and get this question and feedback in.
I like it. And I'll introduce myself. Hey, Bill, Charlie Bolak. Thanks for being here. Come on in, have a seat. The mic is plugged in.
Yeah,
so
you should be. Hey, Bill, it's good to see you. Appreciate you coming through. I think we got you in.
Good to go.
See, I can scoot over a little bit more to give you. You want to slide this way just a touch?
I'm turning that.
There we go. I think we're good. And then you come back in, Charlie. But yeah, Bill, great to see you. Thank you for coming in and being our first guest on the show. Welcome to the Clubhouse. It's Swing Away Golf. This facility is really, really cool and exciting, man. And I really appreciate you coming. I wanted you to see it and give us your thoughts on it.
Bill, make sure you're about 2 to 6 inches from the mic is what they say. And it can be lifted, I think.
Does it hear him?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, so what you got going on now, Bill?
I'm retired. I still teach a little golf. I love teaching golf.
Yeah.
While I was in golf, I like playing, but I love teaching.
You were my favorite coach. I had a few, but you were always my favorite.
I shouldn't say teaching. I should say coach, because that's what we really should be doing, is coaching, not teaching so much. You kind of have to learn something on your own.
Yeah.
But you can be coached in certain areas.
What makes a good student, you would say?
I think a student that wants to practice, doesn't mind putting in the time.
Mhm.
It takes thousands of hours to get good at it. It's a very precise game. It's not hard to do physically. It's just hard to do correctly.
Yeah, that mental aspect, man, it is tough.
I just think that when you talk about routine, that to me is one of the biggest things that's overlooked, because if you watch good players, they do the same thing every time in the routine. And as far as the routine for warming up, the routine for waking up, the routine for eating, they have routines for just about every phase of their life. We don't do that. The amateurs don't do that. We don't have a routine. We just sort of show up willy-nilly.
Oh yeah.
And we might practice once this week and 3 times next week. Well, that consistency is lacking.
I used to tell my wife, you don't practice, you very rarely play, so why are you getting mad?
You're absolutely right.
Not the right thing to say.
Well, I will guess that down the road, we pass laws that make it illegal for a man to teach his wife how to
Oh,
golf,
listen, I
or play golf.
completely agree with you on that.
I've
Or
had
drive.
zero success with people I was emotionally involved with.
Yeah, no, you can't.
Because I've become an awful coach.
I completely agree. I mean, my 9-year-old, she's gotten into golf. She's gotten pretty good, and I couldn't be more proud and happy to do it. But I refuse to teach her. You know, I tell her whatever she'll ask me questions when we're playing. I'm like, what does your coach say? Go back to what that is. You know, and it's really cool. We do this Operation 36, and you know, one of the cool things is when she has a play day, I get to caddy, and to me, that's just the greatest thing ever. And they tell us, you know, you're not there to coach her. You just make her make the decisions. You're there to hand her the club, to clean the club, to help her, you know, get situated in what she needs to do. You might give her an aim point or whatever if she's putting, just to, you know, as a caddy would, but to not get emotionally into it. And I'll tell you this, Bill, I failed miserably the first time we did it. Miserably, because she started out so good, and I was so proud, you know, and proud will get you, right? And I'm so like, oh, she's going to kill this. And then she just had what every golfer has. You just have mental lapse. All of a sudden, I'm like, you know, what do you do? Like, you're not even aiming at where I told you to aim, and I started criticizing her, and I could see on her face. And, you know, from my side, I just wanted the best for her, and I wanted her to succeed and to meet the goal, which is to shoot 36 on 9. And then you kind of go back to another yardage and stuff like that. And I'm sure you're aware of Operation 36, but I could see I was just crushing her, and I couldn't stop myself, you know. And we got in the car, and she didn't want to talk to me, and I knew right then I had to apologize. I had to tell her that, you know, Dad doesn't know all this. This game is extremely difficult. The last thing you need is Dad harping in your ear and telling you what to do. And I promised her right then and there, I said, Cecilia, I will never coach you again like that. I will be there. We're just going to have fun, and we're going to keep the energy there. And, man, I tell you, after that, she just awesome.
Well, that's where your parents.
Well, I got lucky.
Parents aren't perfect. We do
No,
make mistakes.
no.
And, I don't know if it's a mistake the first time you do something. Because you don't know.
Yeah, I
But once
didn't.
you know, then you can make
Even though they told me, they sent me an email not to do any of that. I just got so, and I didn't for the first 3 holes because she was doing the right things. And then, you know, I was so caught up in the result, right, and in the outcome of it, instead of just going through the process, letting her be able to make those decisions for herself. I mean, now she knows, you know, she knows this is, you know, she's looked at me. She's like, okay, well, I could hit a sand wedge here, but I'm going to do a little bump and run with the 9. You know, and the fact, and for me, I'm like, the fact that you even know what a bump and a run is just gets me excited, you know, and she loves to hit the driver. And that was a big challenge, is that, you know, you start at 25 yards out and you're starting to learn how to chip and putt first. And, you know, and she even made a couple decisions that I think I could just putt this, you know, not even chip it, which again was just a big decision that she came on to herself. So I knew then that she had some natural ability. Her mother, God love her, is probably one of the most natural athletes I've ever seen, that does nothing to practice and all of a sudden can just go play. I mean, she was a soccer player, which my 9-year-old Cecilia, that's her first love is soccer. She plays Busa. She's on academy. She's a heck of a little goalkeeper and defender, and she's not afraid to be physical, which is a lot of it, right? I think in sports when they're young, you can get timid, and she's, you know, I get nervous sometimes. I'm like, man, she's gonna hurt somebody because she's so aggressive. Amy would get out there. We were playing, that's my wife's name. She kind of got back into golf here lately, and we went and played, and after 6 holes, we were tied. And I am super competitive, and so is she. And, you know, I'm like, oh, gosh, like, I've been practicing. How's she going to come out here? And I think she was 2 over after 6. And I'm like, okay, now something's got to happen. And by the grace of God, she took a work phone call, and score just went to heck, right? And I was like, all right, cool. I'm going to make sure I get one of her coworkers on the speed line there and say, "Hey, Amy's kicking my butt right now. Y'all give her a call, distract her for me."
One of the things I remember about my children was when the whole crew would go out and play. Mom, dad, one child, two child, children, whatever. Just being on the golf course together.
Yeah.
And you as a dad / coach, your job is to watch her play. Watch her play. And if you'll start noticing little things that she could do better, and then it becomes a situation. Do you give her that information, or does you just pass it along to her coach? We were playing last week in the tournament. Her routine on short putts was different every time.
Yeah.
That's what you tell her coach. And then the coach can decide how to get that into her deal. I don't think it's a great idea I had a conversation last night with my 35-year-old son. I've been teaching him since he was 3 years old. He used to chip I'd be watching golf and he'd be chipping into the couch.
Yeah.
Great chipper, by the way. Awesome. But he's a terrible student. Because anything I say, he's going to go the opposite way.
But do you think that's because you're his father?
Yeah.
See, I think the same way. I mean, I think I would go the route of what you're saying. Tell that to the coach because it's received so much better. You know, for whatever reason, I think we all have that little rebellious in you, especially a son and a father, that I know more than my dad knows, or I can do this, or you already told me that, Dad. You know, and my daughter does the same.
The other thing you can do is take your children to watch golf. We have the Regents here. It's a great way to go, and they can study the senior players have great routines. They go about it beautifully.
I think it was the LPGA played at Shoal Creek a few years back, and Michelle Wee was here. So I took Cece out there, and we're on 17, but she hit a off the tee bomb, but it kind of went into the rough. Well, it actually kind of trickled down to where we were at, and Cece was so excited to see her. You know, everybody knew who Michelle Wee was, and she was so kind and said hello to her and spoke to her, shook her hand. She still talks about this, and this was maybe 5 years ago. I mean, you know, she was 4 years old, and then right after that, hits one of the most amazing shots out of the rough on this green. And you know, and the way the green was set up, where they had the pin, it was a really, really kind of nasty spot. She got out of the rough, held the ball on the green, and got up and down for birdie. And it was phenomenal. I mean, it was inspiring to see.
How old was she at that point?
CC was, I think, either 4 or 5.
Okay. So I took my 4-year-old. He was 3.5 this year, and I'll never forget. We walked past Miguel Angel Jimenez, Tom Lehman, and I think Watson. They're all talking about how nobody was there to see him. Everybody cared more about the SEC football coaches and guys. And
so probably not wrong.
Yeah, my kid's making a beeline for him. So I'm like, oh, great, this is excellent. He makes right past him, chasing the Chick-fil-A cow.
That's a big brand to compete with right there with the kids. My kids know Chick-fil-A for sure.
Well, Michelle Wee is a perfect example of how coaching can ruin an athlete.
Yeah.
At age 16, she made it through the first round of the men's U.S.
Oh, I
Open
remember.
qualifying. She was a phenom, and then she's the coach.
Why? Sometimes that natural talent, just let it be, right? Just let them be free and let them do. I mean, even Tiger, right? I mean, Tiger was on top of the world, and all of a sudden he had to change his swing, and you know, it just made no sense. And I get it. He wanted to be better, and you're always chasing, you know, the excellence, and I get that. But sometimes, man, if you're just naturally gifted, just go with it. Especially if you're winning. If you're, you know, because I get it, and you know, you keep score for a reason, and results are. The game is very results-based in that level, but I mean, he was already winning. And the fact that he felt like he had to change, I don't know. No, I know. It never made sense.
I thought some of it, though, was health-related, right? He was going for the longevity of the swing. He was trying to dial it to where he could play into his 50s, into his, you know.
But then he still ended up being hurt and out of the game, right? I mean, it feels like Tiger was hurt all the time.
That has been for the last, 3?
One thing's interesting, he never changed his putting.
Yeah.
Never changed his putting.
He never changed the grip or anything like that.
It hasn't even changed the rubber grip that's on the putter.
Oh, wow. He's been the same putter that's been the same. That's a good point. I remember hearing a while back that, first of all, amateurs should not be comparing themselves to the pros, right? I mean, we're not going to get that swing speeds. We're not going to, we don't practice as much as they do. We don't hit a million balls every day. So, I mean, it's not a fair comparison. But what I was told is you're not going to be able to keep up with them off the tee. You're probably not going to be able to measure yourself with an iron. But where you can play like the pros is that short game of putting, and especially putting, because there is no huge physical advantage, right? It's really mental. It's touch and feel, and it's about consistency in the stroke.
Putting's number one, and then right behind that is chipping.
Mm-hmm.
You have to learn how to find the low point in your golf swing. With a putter, you don't really need to hit the ground.
Yeah.
But with a chip, there is going to be some interaction with the turf. It's probably just going to be just a skipping across the very top of it. You don't want to go too deep. But most people, if you ask them, where's the bottom of your swing, they have no idea where it is.
I listen.
You have to know where the bottom of the swing is to know where to put the ball.
To know how to clip it.
Know when you around the greens, you get the side heel lies.
Mm-hmm.
The side heel lies change where the ball position is. The ball's above your feet. You probably have to move the ball back.
Well, it changes how I hit the ball, doesn't it?
But it's about ball position, right?
Ball position. So the way I recommend that you find the ball position for chipping is that you stand next to the ball, put the ball where it would be in your stance, but you're not going to hit it. You're going to take crack swing, and you want to hit the turf past where the ball is. So you can take a couple of crack swings, and you flip the turf, see where you clutch it in the ground, and then you put the ball just to the right of it for a right-handed player.
Mm-hmm.
So knowing where the bottom of your swing is huge. The best place to learn that is with the short game. I'll never forget one time I was around Byron Nelson, and I said to him, what did you do when you went off, when your game went off, which was rare? He said, I would go practice my chipping, because I figured if I couldn't hit a chip shot correctly, how was I going to be able to hit a driver?
Yeah.
So when I got to where I could chip it correctly, I moved a little further away. And that's the beauty of this Project 36.
Yeah.
You start close to the hole, and you move away as you have success. And I think that's a brilliant way to learn the game.
I really do too. I wish I would have known that style. I don't even know if that existed when I first started playing.
If you were going to take up boxing, would you go get in the ring with Muhammad Ali on the first day?
Absolutely not.
A driver, that's like the Muhammad Ali of golf club. It's graduate school.
Yeah.
Way past that.
I completely agree with you on that.
But
Excellent.
that's the sexy club, and that's
Yeah,
what
of course.
everybody goes for. And then they're behind the 8 ball because they start doing things to manipulate that longer club and
Mhm.
solid. Plus, the thing's teed up has nothing to do with hitting an iron.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. You want to catch it on the way up. But a lot of times it's just hard to even understand what that means. I want to go back to something you said earlier, talking about the practice swing. And that goes back to the question that we had on the pre-shot routine. How long is too long, and what's your thoughts on that?
Poll is live.
How long is too long for
A pre-shot routine. So Patrick Cantlay has been accused of taking really, really long time, and then certain people will just get up and go and fire immediately. What's your thoughts on that?
I think it has to be something that's natural. It has to be something like, for example, if you ever play basketball, you shoot a free throw,
Mhm.
you go up, you
Got your
bounce it a couple
routine.
times,
Yeah.
go. And Kobe Bryant was just unbelievable. He had the same routine when he was totally injured. I saw something the other day about how his routine didn't change. So
My all-time favorite basketball
I
player.
think I think it's got to be something that takes place fairly quickly. But the main thing is it's the same thing every time.
Mm-hmm.
If you do the same thing every time, then you can get some consistency. And consistency is what we're looking for.
I agree with that. I mean, Charlie gets on me a lot. He says I take too long sometimes in my swing. But so to your point in basketball, when I played basketball, and that was my sport growing up, it was 3 dribbles, a spin, shoot, right? It was boom, 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 spin it in my hands and shoot. Well, I kind of do the same on my practice swing. I take 3 nice, consistent swings, I step up, and I fire. And that's just what I do every single time. And I do find when I play with guys like this guy that are rushing me, it's usually when they get in my heads. And usually there's a little betting going on in gamesmanship. And that sly little comment of, man, you take forever. Well, all of a sudden I start speeding up. And it gets me out of my game. And really what I've started to do later in my career is I've gotten decent at golf, which there's another question I want to ask you about that we talked about last week, that If I just stay true to that routine, I can be consistent in what I'm playing. I think it matters a lot.
I think it's a big deal, and especially under pressure.
Yeah. Yes.
Start playing tournaments, you want to have something that you can focus on. And because the way you should be focusing on visualizing your shot. Well, that could be your routine, but just I have found that just by thinking of the details of the routine,
Mm-hmm.
it takes my mind off being nervous.
That's a good
Because
point.
I'm in the process. It's like you doing a special dish.
Mm-hmm.
Say you're going to make a dish for the President of the United States. You really want to get it right.
Of course.
Did you change your routine?
No, but I would probably put unneeded added pressure on myself to try to make sure it was perfect, right? And I probably wouldn't let anybody else touch that dish but myself. But you're right. I mean, and I think that's a good point because when we are cooking, it should be the same no matter what, all right? Like whether it's the first dish or the last dish, it should be cooked exactly the same way.
And that's the way it is with golf, regardless of the length shot it is or what type shot it is. Have a routine for it.
Well, let me ask you this: for a guy who has no pre-shot routine, how would one go about developing a
You
pre-shot
have a
routine?
routine, you just don't know it, and it might be a little bit random, but you probably do some things before you hit the shot.
Well, that's
Do you make-
stupid
do you-
stuff.
do
I
you
stand
make-
over
do
and
you make-
stare at.
Do you make practice one?
Rarely.
Do you wiggle the club? Do you
I
feel
do.
it in your hands?
I'm a wiggler.
There
yeah.
you go.
I'm a
That's your
wiggler.
routine.
That's the routine.
The waggle.
Okay.
The waggle.
Who was it? Jason Day? That was no, not Jason Day. Duffner. Wasn't he the one that did the? I mean, he did like 10, 12 waggles in a row.
No. That was Brian, the guy that won the British. Brian
Hartman.
Hartman.
Yeah.
God.
I remember
bless
Duffner did the waggle for a while too.
Yeah, you can overdo it, it gets stuck.
Yeah.
You mentioned Patrick Cantley. Patrick Cantley is stuck in meditation. I saw.
You think
his
that's what it is?
I know it is because his coach said it the other day. I saw it on a podcast
Gotcha.
on YouTube, and his coach was talking to a bunch of golf professionals about how he teaches. And he didn't mention this was 5 years ago that he did this. This was before Patrick Cantley was really making waves and now making waves for something wrong.
Mm-hmm.
He said that his routine is he goes into this meditative state and he just lowers himself, and he won't go until he gets to a point. And I think what's
Part of that of
happening
his
is
breathing and everything else.
whole
Trying to get
thing,
his heart
he's
rate
getting-
down.
He's getting everything, and it's taking him longer to get there.
Makes
Probably
sense.
it should
That's-
be.
That's interesting.
And so we'll see how he addresses that. It seems like he played a little bit quicker in this past Ryder Cup. I didn't
It's,
see him
it's hard to
standing over.
tell, because a lot of times the TV is really good at cutting away, and they know that people don't want to watch that, or it's become a thing. I mean, honestly, I watched the tour a lot, and I never really noticed it until other players started talking about it, and then all of a sudden it became a thing, because I think TV does so well to know that's kind of dead time, and they don't want to show it. But that's an interesting thought that he's really getting himself into a meditated state. That makes sense.
It's his coach is a surf nut out of Southern California.
Okay.
Loves to surf.
I didn't know that.
And he is big on getting into that meditative state that you get into when you surf.
Visualizing the line, the run on the
You
wave,
don't
and
think a whole lot about detail. You just think about
balance and not falling off, right?
enjoying the ride.
Yeah.
Well, so this Patrick Cantley has taken on some of this, and it's helped him a lot. But possibly he's gone a little bit too far.
Too deep
with
into
and
it.
he's getting stuck. So we'll see. But doing it the right way is different than not doing it at all.
So what's your pre-shot routine?
I couldn't talk you through it. I could walk you through it. I
Yeah,
can show you
just
what
kinda
I
show
do.
how-
I
is
mean,
it almost-
basically what I do? I like to start behind the ball, with
Mhm.
the ball to the target, and I'll see the shot I want to play. And I might make a practice way back behind the ball. I might not, but I will move around a little bit just to get a little bit of feel for the club head. And then I walk in and I put my right foot in, and then the club face the ball. I make sure the club face is square to where I want to start the ball. And then I put my feet in while I'm looking at the target.
Gotcha.
The reason I do that, if you set your feet in while you're looking down at the ball, you'll end up closed most of the time.
That makes sense.
So if you look out the target, you'll kind of keep your body a little bit open so that you can walk into it and square up from there. But most people make the mistake of putting their feet in their stance while they're looking down at their feet.
I think I'm guilty of
I
that
think
for
I'm
sure.
guilty of that. I'm gonna have to look at
Keep your
that.
eyes on the target.
Huh.
That's a better way. And but the best players are just so target oriented.
Mhm.
They look at the target, look at the target, look at the target.
I was something that we were talking about last week, and I had some buddies here, and we were kind of playing, and you know they're very high handicappers, and you know I'm definitely not a coach, you know, and I finally got to single digit, and you know they ask, right? I never just unsolicitedly try to give anybody any tips, and I always kind of give a disclaimers. I'm not a coach. This is what I'm seeing. You know, a lot of times it's off balance, or you're throwing your hands, and that's just part of it. But you know, comment I made that I had heard before and read about was the driver is really the only club that doesn't have a distance assigned to it. Now, you know, I mean, it does, right? You know, you can hit your driver certain yardages and stuff, but really you kind of line up. And if you're on a par 5, you're not thinking, okay, I'm going to put this 230 yards over here in this perfect little pocket as an amateur. Pros, I'm sure, have a different mindset, but I think a lot of times amateurs are like, I'm just swinging, and I'm swinging as hard as I can. And I always, in my mind, I'm trying to get to that 300 plus. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. But then to the reverse side is where I became a pretty decent golfer was that I started understanding how to play to my numbers, right? And understanding that, you know, that 100-yard club I feel really consistent on, or that 120 club I feel really consistent on. And I know what that club is. So I'll play to that, right? Especially if I'm in trouble, if I get something wayward and I got to get out of trouble and it's like, okay, I can't really go at the green. Let me punch something out to that 120 to 100-yard spot where I know that that's a sand wedge or pitching wedge or whatever club that is, and I feel really consistent that I can reproduce that swing perfectly. The driver never feels that way. It feels like a grip it and rip it, and you know, and it's really wild because when I'm playing my best golf, the driver I don't even think about. When I'm not playing good golf, I'm a head case with that driver.
Well, I think those of you that have a lot of speed, the further you hit it, the further offline it'll go.
That's fair.
So that's just part of it. I wouldn't worry too much about it. I would just rip it, and then you know, be like I said, be real good from 100 yards.
Yeah, I mean that's where I've shaved the most points off my scores. Short.
There'll be days when you drive it beautifully, and then you've got your short game to score with, and you've got days when you can't drive it, find it anywhere, and you got to chip and putt.
Yeah.
So that's the maintenance part of your game. I just can't tell people you got to get good from 100 yards.
Yeah, I think that's a big
There's an old
part of it.
saying, actually, I've heard it. Peter Thompson, a great Australian player, I think he won 5 British Opens.
Wow.
He said, it's not how far you hit, it's how near you hit. Now, that might not be true with the driver. The driver's a whole different kettle of fish.
It really is.
Just go ahead and have fun and rip it, but be real precise with the other clubs.
I agree with that.
And I would have a club in my bag that I could hit straight for about 210, 220 yards, because there are going to be some par 4s that you might not want to hit driver.
I agree.
And that comes in handy to be able to.
I recently just picked up a 7-wood, and I will tell you that changed everything. To that very point where those par 4s was like, you know, if I get a hold of the driver and it goes 3+, like I'm actually in a really bad position, or my miss could be really, really painful. But if I have the 7-wood that I'm hitting, you know, anywhere from 210 to 220, you know, it's kind of like the mini drivers you hear about, but it's easier to hit. You got a nice ball flight. You know, I took my 4-iron out, put that in, and man, shots that I would hit my 4 that was low, now I'm hitting this big tower and 7-wood that just drops.
You can hit that on a par 5 or 2 here and there, too.
If my ego would allow it, yeah.
Not off the tee.
Okay, on the set. Oh yeah, no, definitely. It's an easier club to hit than the 3.
They'll come in softer than the greens.
Very much
The
so.
whole green's better. So yeah, that's a great club, and you're seeing more and more professionals playing with 7-wood.
Yeah, it's a really good club.
Yeah, that's why I dropped down. I don't have a 3, 4, or 5. I have a driver, 5-wood, 7-wood, 9-wood.
I haven't played the 9-wood yet.
I love the 9-wood, the new Ping 449 wood.
We had a poll question last week. What score do you need to shoot to be considered a good golfer? Now I know breaking 100 is a big deal. You know, a lot of golfers don't break 100 pretty much consistently in their lifetime. The weekend warriors, right? But as a professional, You know, I would curious your thoughts on what that score.
Breaking 80 consistently makes you a good player.
Gotcha.
The percentage of people who can break 80 consistently is very small.
What would you consider like serviceable, like business golf, where you didn't embarrass yourself and you were able to hold your own out there on the golf course with a business?
I don't think it matters what you shoot in that situation as long as you have proper etiquette.
Yeah.
And you don't hold people up. You know how to kind of handle yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I played in a U.S. Open qualifier here in Birmingham when I was 22 years old. I played with a fella who shot in the U.S. Open qualifier. He shot 98.
Oh my goodness.
And I shot 72.
Wow.
And it's probably the best round of golf I ever played because I was conscious that he was not playing well.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have any business being there. But he handled himself well. It didn't get in the way of me playing well.
Yeah.
Kind of took the pressure off of
He
you.
couldn't play golf at all. He had the proper etiquette and responsibility and for fellow competitors. So I think it's more important that you know how to handle yourself
Mhm.
playing that sort of friendly golf. Totally different animal than playing competitive golf.
I had a real big mentor of mine that was in the business world that he said that when he was interviewing candidates, it was getting to that, that kind of third point of, the third interview, and you really want to see who somebody was, and go take them to play nine. Because, it would tell you how they handled pressure, how they handled good, were they too cocky and confident and boisterous, or were they, demonstrative and lose their cool. He said he couldn't tell me the amount of employees that he ended up not hiring that he thought he would because he wasn't looking to play golf and they showed him who they really were.
You learn more about somebody in 2 hours on a golf course than any other thing you can do.
So
Right.
true. So true.
That's why a lot of business is done on a golf course.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Golf is an amazing sport. It's something I wish I would have played as a kid, which I'm so happy that my kids play. And it's I thought it was a dumb sport when I was a kid. Nobody's running at you, nobody's throwing a ball at you.
No matter how old you were when you started, it was 8 years too late.
Oh yeah, yeah. If we would have started early enough, I could have been on tour, right? Like that's the saying that you hear all the time, for sure.
But it's great that you got the kids involved. That's to me, that's the best thing in the world to do.
What kind of tips do you have for parents that are trying to get their kids involved?
Make sure that they have fun.
Mhm.
If they just want to drive the golf cart, if they want to take a bucket of balls and dump it upside down on their little brother,
Let it be.
as long as they're not hurting anybody, they're not hurting the golf course, give them to have fun and say, hot dogs, they
Oh, yeah.
love that. So, yeah, just make it a thing where they want to do it. I had a member up in New Jersey, club where I was for a long time. He had 3 sons, and they all were excellent golfers as adults. And it always amazed me how good he was with them. And I said to him, what was your secret to get your kids interested in golf? And he said, every third time they would ask me to go play golf, I would say no. I said, why do you think? Well, I wanted them to be hungry for it. I didn't want them to say, okay, here we go again. Dad's dragging me over the club. I wanted them to ask me, and I was going to not let them every now and then so it would whet their desire.
What a great thought.
That's a good idea.
It really is a great thought.
I'm not suggesting go that far.
Yeah, but still, it's a good thought. I like
I don't know. My kid expressed an interest, and I built this. So,
that.
I love it. I love it.
I tried to make some competitive moments with my 9-year-old in putting. We would play putting contests with Skittles because she loves her candy, and that was a way that I kind of got her to focus on putts because that was the hardest part for her. She didn't understand touch. She was wide open all the time, right? She thought you swing as hard as you can on every single shot, including the putter. And she'd fling a ball off the green, and that was some of the moments I started realizing how can I get her engaged. And a guy told me, he goes, with my kids, my grandkids, he said, is we play for candy on the putting green. And I said, well, you know what? That's a really good idea. So we started doing Skittles. And it was like, first closest to the hole, who could put it in first, and, Skittle here, Skittle there. And then now it's a thing that she's an excellent.
Do you see visibly the focus change?
Completely. Because there's something she wants, right? For me, it's like it's different. Everybody's motivated by different things. My motivation is to try to get the ball in the hose as fast as I can. It didn't matter to her. She's just having fun. And I agree with your aspect of that. Like whatever fun is, fun is. Like we'll go play, and she might say she wants to play 18, but at 6 holes, I can see that she's tired and bored. It's time to go have a hot dog and we're done, right? And that was a big thing for me to understand because it wasn't about me, it was about her. But at first it was, I want to get through golf and you're with me. And it took me a moment to catch that, to pick up on those social cues that she's bored. It's time to be done.
I'll give you another hint. Fair. Establish a rule, because you don't want to be talking about golf swing on the golf.
Of course.
So I had a rule that the first time either I or one of my children mentioned the golf swing, we went in.
Huh.
You could mention strategy.
Mm-hmm.
You could talk about routines. You could talk about anything other than the technique of hitting a golf ball. You're out there to play.
Yeah.
Either you're playing golf or you're playing golf swing.
That's a good point. Or your path. Yeah.
So,
Well, I mean, even to myself, when I'm trying, you can't. I mean, it's proven you can't work on your swing in the middle of the round. It's the quickest way to make a terrible
again, a good player might make an adjustment. I remember a couple of years ago, Scotty Scheffler said he told a funny story about his caddy. The day before, he missed a few shots to the right, and caddy wasn't saying anything. And finally said, what are you doing? You're not helping me. Well, I think all you need to do is just aim less to the right.
What a good point.
Isn't that great caddying?
It is. I actually got the pleasure to meet Ted Scott earlier this year. He did a fellowship meeting, Birmingham Country Club, and I got invited to go and watch him speak. And he's a heck of a guy.
Yeah, he's terrific.
He's got, I think it's Sunday morning. He's got a podcast that he does, but then he does these like little 30-second snippets on Instagram that I can't remember what it's called. It's so good though. I mean, it's just positivity.
Somewhere there's a video of him telling the story of how he got hooked up.
Yeah, he told that story at the
This is
meeting
a
we went
terrific
to.
story. Every chance I'd rather watch Ted Scott caddy than a lot of guys play.
I agree with you on that. Ted Scott's amazing.
He's a great caddy, and the caddies out there are very, very good. They probably always been good, but they're because of the amount of money they're playing for.
Yeah.
They are really.
Well, you have to be, right? Because I mean, it's
You got to have all the
dog eat dog, right?
Exactly.
If you're not bringing value as a caddy, then they don't need you. They're going to find somebody else.
Well, was it last year that Ted Scott made more than half the tour players just off of
Yeah,
Scotty
being on
Warner's?
Scotty's bag, I completely can see that.
So when it comes to your kids, when you're out there with them, think of how can I be the best caddy? What would the best caddy be doing right now?
It's a great thought.
That is a good thought.
The best caddy be saying? What would you do to get them back on the rails if they're off the rails a little bit, or maybe get them to be a little less nervous if they're feel like they're a little bit too jacked up? You just got to know, and as a parent, you have that sense of when to fold and when to stall,
Yeah.
that sort of thing, and you just have to bring that same mindset to the golf course. Because I've seen so many parents, they mean well, they're trying hard, but the little kid comes off the golf course crying. And that's the end of it.
That's Well, I mean, you make them hate the game at that point, right? And it's a negative. You don't want that.
Yeah.
It
We're
doesn't
not there
matter
yet.
what-
I'm just trying to get him to wipe his nose before he swings the club.
You'll get there though. You will. You will for sure.
But teaching them to chip, I think if you can teach your children to chip beautifully, to pitch beautifully, they can play anytime, anywhere, anyhow, because they're always going to be able to have that shot when they get around the greens. They can get it up on the green in 1 putt or 2 putt.
Yeah, it's a big
You
thing.
should get the first chip on the green every time. And the tour players are probably 99.9% of that.
First time. And then 2 putt at the
Two
least,
putt
right?
At the least. You might get it close to a 1 putt, you might even hold it. But
Yeah.
you're going to get it on the green and get yourself a putt every single time from 30 yards.
That's a tough spot too. I mean, 30 yards is a swing that not everybody's comfortable with for sure.
That's a bladed over duff at 4 feet.
A lot of times it's just trusting the club to do what it needs to do, not trying to manhandle something. For me, anyway.
Yeah, and that's where I check somebody out. If I want to find out if somebody's any good at all, I ask them to hit a 30-yard pitch.
Oof, that's pressure.
They can do it. hit solid, hit the right trajectory and control the distance, and they're probably pretty good. But if they're not, then they need to learn how to do it. And by learning how to do it, they become a better player.
Well, what if you say, I want to see a 30-yard shot, and you say, hey, what apex you want? Then you know, you're in with
They're
a
watching too much golf. Golf TV is what's going on there for sure.
That could be dangerous.
Well, Coach, it's been a pleasure having you on. I think we're about winding down. Charlie, you got anything else you want to lead into next week?
Oh, let's see. Did we leave anything?
I'm sure we did. Sure we did.
How about what's the takeaway from our debate? So we no audience votes yet, but so the categories are 2 minutes or less, 2 to 3. I'll know when I encounter it, or unlimited. That is the answers you can choose for how long after taking control of tee box should an amateur golfer have to hit.
Well, I mean, I don't think there's a time limit. I mean, for me, I think Coach kind of said it best, right? You know, when you feel right and you're ready to go. I think it's got to be individual, right? I mean, to everybody else. Really, to me, that question is asking how much time until your playing partners give you crap about how long it takes, right?
Or how much time until they decide, hey, I just don't have time to play with this guy anymore. I've got.
But what if you're
I've got to
playing by
keep on
yourself?
schedule. I say, hey, I can play 18 right there in 48 minutes.
Yeah, but what if you're playing by yourself? That time limit wouldn't matter as much then, right?
Oh, that's true, and that would be the time to kind of experiment and find out where you lie there. But
I mean, I'm with you. You obviously don't want to play with somebody that's going to make you have a 6-hour round because of their pre-swing.
yeah, people hitting into you.
Yeah, I get that. I get that.
There is, and that's the big debate today around amateur golf. It is how do we keep the pace of play up and make it enjoyable for everybody? With as busy as golf is right now, we've got to come up with a way to keep it attainable for the guys that are playing on the time crunch.
So do you want a shot clock like TGL has?
No, I just want. I want to know everybody's trying to go and get back about their daily business.
But not everybody that plays golf is worried about getting done fast.
Should there be
right?
a fast lane and a slow lane then?
I think that could be a good debate. Maybe that's the question for next week.
Hey, that's a good one. That's a good one. Hey, early teaser for next week then. What are some solutions for the pace of play in public golf? What do you think?
I think a big part of that is spacing out tee times, right? I mean, you go to a lot of the munis want to get them is obviously it's a numbers game, right? You're trying to get as many golfers in as you can to make your revenue, but also, I mean, is there not some onus on, is 5 minutes, 8 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes between tee times? Would that alleviate some of that pressure?
That's a good question. What are country clubs at? Because I'll tell you right now, Bentbrook, when I worked there, was at 8 minutes per tee time. And I think that's pretty reasonable, right? That gives you 8 minutes to get out there, hit, go get your ball. The other group's warming up, getting ready, and then.
But really, that's 2 minutes per person if you're a foursome, right?
Oh, so there you go. 2 minutes or less. That's one of our.
Look at that. We backed our way into that one, didn't we?
I think during COVID, a lot of clubs went to 10-minute tee times, spread it out a little bit, and they stayed with it afterwards. They felt like it was less
Spacing it
congested.
better, yeah. I mean, there's nothing worse. I'm with you, Charlie, than taking forever to be able to hit your shot because somebody in front of you is slow. I get you on that.
And that throws you off your rhythm, right?
It does.
So what the worst cases of slow play that I see, unfortunately, junior golf,
Really?
college golf.
Really?
Why is that, do you think?
I think we're seeing on TV and
Overanalyzing.
on their routine, and they're doing all this stuff, and it's good to have a routine, but you need to have a routine that's manageable and works with the rest of the field.
Yeah.
So they're just slow, and they don't. Go watch a college golf tournament. It's almost unwatchable.
Wow. I didn't even think about that. You don't see a lot of college golf tournaments on TV like you do the pros. I mean, you see them, but just not the same amount.
Now and then you'll see it on the golf channel. You'll see it play. They're showing more and more college golf,
Mhm.
junior golf. But the junior golfers are learning how to play slow from the best players in the world. They're mimicking them,
Yeah.
and it's causing problems. And I can foresee a time when they'll have a shot clock on tour. I really can, because it's the guys that aren't slow are really getting kind of fed up with it.
Yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see
They've
that.
been fed up with it a long time, but they've never come up with a great solution for it. I don't know that the shot clock is the best solution, but it's probably better than nothing.
Well, I know there is they can put you on the clock,
Yeah,
right?
they can.
But I mean, you know, you can get off that clock pretty quickly and to get back on it. I've seen before.
My knowledge, nobody's ever been fined.
Yeah, I just don't see it happening.
Smoke, that could cost them millions of dollars.
Yeah.
That could be an issue. But,
Very
you
true.
need to have a punishment or a penalty for them. I don't know what it is.
Hey, again, hey, that's a great teaser. That was like a 5-minute teaser for next week. Look, we can rename the podcast "Solving the Golf Issues of the World."
Well, thank everybody for listening in to us, and we look forward to seeing you guys same time next week. Have a great rest of your day.
Thanks for joining. Thanks again, Coach.
Thank you, Coach.